thank you all for spending time with us this afternoon. Hopefully this presentation you'll find to be educational, informative, and hopefully a little bit entertaining. We're going to start with pretty much a little bit of an agenda. We're going to talk about the RACO GPS tracking overview. We're going to talk about the Garmin personal navigation device, the Garmin integration and the benefits of the integration. Then we're going to actually show you a live demonstration of the routing function with the video. Hopefully it won't be such of a challenge because the speed we hope is not too slow. And then Doug's going to go through the functionality of developing the dispatch function setup and reporting. Now this presentation is not going to be a really down in the weeds on each one of these bullet points, really basically designed to highlight some of the features. But the people at RACO are more than willing to spend time with you one-on-one and talk about your business needs with our consultants and help you design the best solution to help you manage your business best. Please, as Woody discussed, please ask any questions, and we look forward to answering those in the end. RACO Industries, about RACO. RACO is based in Cincinnati, Ohio. We have offices strategically positioned around the United States. And we are an integrator of handheld and wireless mobile solutions, and GPS fleet tracking being one of those. People frequently ask us, how long has RACO been in the fleet tracking business? And it goes back to our early days. We actually had a website called Track My Vehicle, where at the time the equipment cost thousands of dollars. It required professional installation. The monthly services were very high, and the platforms to view the applications on were not very robust and would say not very pretty in today's environment. We fast forward to today, like in many technology areas, the price of devices now, the Garmin devices, hundreds of dollars. The installations now, in many cases, self-installation, are done by your own people. The monthly recurring costs, in many cases, are no more than $1 working day. And the platforms now are based on Google Earth, so they're just very, very robust, very beautiful platforms to see. We also do business in the field service area. Because we have a large group of mobile workers, we have people out there like HVAC, lawn care, pest control, and senior transportation that require additional level of maybe scan the parts into a work order that you use for your yard, or a transportation signature piece to validate services rendered. So we do have a complete field service and work order management team that can develop applications to do a little more detailed work for you if required. We also have a web-based delivery solution, very similar to what you see in your UPS, your FedEx, where you go into a website and you schedule a pickup. You're given a label with a tracking number, and you can then track that particular product or shipment throughout the life cycle as it's picked up, as it's cross-docked, as it's delivered, and you basically go out to the website and track it just like UPS. We also have a yard management solution. It's called Yard Director. It's designed to track the ingress-egress of trucks and trailers, primarily designed for the food service industry, food manufacturing, and large distribution. We also develop custom GPS application, custom mobile application. We have professional services, which are project managers and post-sale support. We have a strong relationship with cellular data carriers. We can develop very, very strong M2M programs to provide you the cellular services required for many of these applications. So the question was, why Garmin? Now my question was, why not Garmin? They are the pioneer leader in GPS devices. They are the standard of the industry, and basically it's set standard for all their people to compete with. Everybody here today is familiar with the friendly voice, the landmarks, the turn-by-turn instructions given by the Garmin company. Obviously the easy use, reliability, and we are very, very, very proud at RACO to be now an authorized Garmin fleet-ready navigation partner. Let's talk about that Garmin integration and the benefits. Basically, what happens is now it allows you to communicate safely, and we underline the statement safely, with your drivers in real time. And we'll get into some of the details of how we accomplish that. We also can do a better job of planning your routes to better service either your needs or your customers' needs. The perfect example is when you create your own schedules and your own routes, you can then determine what is most important for you or your customers. Maybe an early shipment, and you can plan that early shipment, or maybe a shipment is a furthest location away and you want that to be the first place you travel to. So the software allows you as a route planner to develop that route ahead of time and put it into the Garmin device, so when the operator comes in the morning, He basically turns on his devices. We'll show you here later in the presentation, and he can go about his day. Again, obviously, part of the Garmin feature is provides the turn-by-turn directions for multiple stops. Again, as can be loaded the night before or the day of, depending on how your business model functions. It also allows us to receive notifications real-time on completed stops. I believe this provides a higher level of customer service because now people in the office are aware of the activities taking place in the field. So when a customer calls in and asks a question, the people in the customer service or the management team or the sales team now have more information to answer those questions without maybe calling the driver or distracting the driver. Obviously, one of the things we do very well with the Garmin integration is reduce driver distraction with audio clues. And part of that is every time a message is sent to the Garmin unit, a sound occurs and then an icon appears on the screen, which we'll show you, and allows a driver to at a safe point in his day, when he's either at a stop sign or at a stoplight or stopped somewhere, he can then touch on the device and read that message. As well as we provide live two-way messaging. Again, allow with the visual icon as well as the audio signal, the driver can choose that message at the most appropriate time when it's safe for him to also take that message on. We'll also, as a result of being able to receive complete notification on stops, because we can see drivers real time, it allows your dispatch to assign new and emergency stops to the nearest, most effective driver. You can look at the GPS platform. You can basically look at the most effective vehicle for that destination, and then you can assign that vehicle that job. And again, Doug will show you that here in a few minutes. With that, I'd like to take a moment to show a video. And again, hopefully your bandwidth is adequate, so let's see how it goes. Again, as you can tell, pretty simple point and touch instructions and a friendly voice.
Please drive to highlighted route. Continue 0.2 miles, then turn left on Kenwood Road. Continue 0.4 miles to destination point, on right. Arriving at destination point, on right.
As you can see, for purposes of our presentation, we've truncated some of the driving, and you can see very simply here, he's just choosing simple commands, and he's then providing that end of stop verification. And he's accepted a new route, and off he goes.
Please drive to highlighted route.
And that looks like our parking lot. Very nice job. Thank you very much. So that gives you an idea what the in-cab experiences is for the particular driver. Now, I'm going to have Doug take a moment here and go ahead and show you how some of these things are accomplished. Go ahead, Doug.
All right, with that, I'm going to go ahead and pop into our RACO Interactive Fleet Tracking platform. We're going to focus in on the Dispatch tab today. The Dispatch tab is where your dispatcher will spend most of his day creating routes, assigning routes, checking the progress of routes. In order to create a route, he would just click on the routing button here. He can either adjust an existing route. If you wanted to, you could click on the pencil icon to edit it, remove stops, edit a stop if you needed to, add a new stop based on a point of interest, an existing stop on another route, or you could specify an address and do a reverse geocode to get the coordinates of that location.
So if you have customers that you go to frequently, by having use existing stops, you can very rapidly create your routes. And then those new ones you add, you can basically search into. So once you build a lot of customers, you'll have an archive of customers you can choose from when you're creating stops for sector. Thank you, Doug.
All right, now once we have our stops created, we can go out and assign them to any one of our vehicles. To do that, we'll just come to the Assignments tab. You can either type in the name of the vehicle if you know it, or if you hit the search icon on the right, it will display a list of vehicles that you have that have the dispatch feature configured. So as I choose Lindsay Brown Harris for my driver, I'm going to go ahead and assign her a route. And we'll go ahead and choose the route we had in the video, just so you can kind of put it all together. As we assign the route, now we have the metrics here that the dispatcher can look in on from time to time to see where Lindsay is on her route. And at that point, the dispatcher can even send her a message.
So what you heard in the background was the audio signal on the Garmin device signifying to the driver that he has a new route. The next audio tone you'll hear is the actual message being sent, that he's actually got a route being sent to him.
So I'm going to go ahead and share my webcam here so you can see the Garmin device. If you look in the upper right-hand corner, we have a little icon there that has a little flag. That is the indicator that we have a route available for us on the Garmin. There's the other notification that Larry just referred to, which is the message icon of the message I just sent to Lindsay. And before I pop fully out to the Garmin, I'm going to come over here to the calendar and kind of show you what an ended trip will look like. So as each stop is completed, it will be checked off, and a little bit of metrics will be assigned to that. And with that, I'm going to pop out to show a little bit more of the Garmin features. All right, so as your driver gets these notifications, he can click on the icons and then go in and read his messages, his or her messages, and then if they need to, they can reply. And that is the two-way communication that we referred to earlier in the presentation. And then once they're ready, we can click on the flag icon and choose our first stop.
So pretty much, as you can see, the audio controls allow the driver to choose the most appropriate time for driver safety, driver awareness, to choose the route, as well as it gives us an opportunity to then also send a two-way message to communicate with that driver.
And with that, I'm going to pop back out to my screen I'm sharing here. And if you notice up here in the upper right-hand corner, it shows I have an MDT record. That is the message that Lindsay just sent me back saying thanks for the routes.
Now, it looks like we have a couple moments here to spare, so I'm going to spend a moment looking at our GPS tracking platform. So Doug's going to go out to the basic tracking site and kind of give you an indication of what it looks like. This is one of our customers in the Cleveland area. He's a landscape company. As you can see, our platform is very graphically oriented. It's really complicated. The red means that the vehicles have stopped. The green means vehicles are moving, and that blue circle, the idle, means the vehicles are idle. So we try to give a very simple visual representation, as well as we give a full ability to do satellite view. And for those people who are looking at things like rendered services, where things were done, or breadcrumb trailing, the ability for you to go back into history and look at any vehicle at any particular point in time, you can go back to, and you can drill right down to the actual location by clicking on any one of the particular dots, and it'll give you a live view or a street view of that particular facility. And again, if you weren't in the industry many years ago like I was, and you start seeing these new visual services you get from Google, it is more than light years from where we were many years ago. And we've been very, very excited about the partnership with Google, the partnership with Garmin. We can't think of better companies to partner with. And again, as we discussed, if you have any questions, please type them into the question box. And again, if you'd like to spend time one-on-one with myself or Doug and one of our other engineers here within RACO Interactive to help you better manage your business using the Garmin integration. We'd love the opportunity to speak with you at a more convenient time at your convenience. Woody, how are we doing on those questions out there?
We do have a couple, but like Larry said, if you do have any questions, you can type them in the questions section as well. First question involves Garmin units. What Garmin units does RACO integrate with? Goes on to say, do I have to buy it from RACO, or can I use existing Garmin devices?
All right, well, let me answer it in 3 different pieces then. What Garmin units does RACO integrate with? You kind of check with us on a case-by-case basis. We are supporting most of the newer devices. We're currently using, which one today, Doug?
The diesels and the newbies.
So right now I've been using the diesels and the newbies. Do you have to buy this from RACO? We would like you to. It's not necessary, but we are very competitive, and Garmin does make us an authorized partner. So we should have very, very competitive pricing for you. And there is one more layer of integration required for it to attach to our GPS platform, which is another device that we would install for you here. And then can use existing Garmin devices, probably as long as it meets the criteria that Doug discussed right now with either diesel or newbie, or another device may be coming out in the future.
All right. What about another question is, does dispatch have to be done on a Garmin device?
Yes, it does. Right now, we're only supporting Garmin. We've made that decision to go with Garmin. We're very happy and proud of that decision. But as it stands today, unless one gives me a better reason why not to use Garmin, we're going to fully support Garmin when it comes to the dispatch perspective.
All right. Another question here is, do you have a solution to do signature capture for deliveries?
Great question. Yes, as we discussed back early in some of our field service opportunities we call work order management. One of our customers is a transportation company that does senior transportation, and they have to get the seniors to sign on a Android phone so they can then prove to the government that that service was rendered and they'd be paid for that service. So we actually use an Android technology, and that technology can also have the GPS tracking on the Android device as well as it designed for field service. Great question. Thanks, William.
All right. Another question is, what else can you guys track? What are the objects that you guys can track?
We can track pretty much any asset or any type of device on a network. We can track things like phones. We can track assets like trucks and trailers. We're even working right now with a carrier. We're actually tracking the content inside of a truck, where we actually put a GPS battery-operated device on a particular, say, skid or pallet in a truck, and we're able to then track it inside the vehicle across the country. Very new opportunity we've been working on, very excited about the potential of tracking not just vehicles, but assets and individuals.
Here's a question about the Garmin device itself. Does it allow for driver detour of a preset route in case of a traffic jam?
I'm afraid that falls under the question, a great question. I'm not sure I know the exact answer to that today as we stand here. I may have to research that, so please make a note of the client, and we will get back to them with a more appropriate answer. I imagine it would take. I would imagine, Woody, it would take over the similar case that a standard Garmin would do in case of a detour. They would probably reroute you. But I'm going to have to look that one up. That's what I call a great question. Thank you.
Another question going back to the tracking items. Do you guys track iPhones?
We currently have an iOS client that we're working with. We also can use the iOS client for visual purposes as well. So not only can you be in web-based when we track the iPhone or track an Android or track a ruggedized Windows mobile device, we can also use your laptop, your tablet, or your Android or your iPad for viewing purposes of the GPS platform from the dispatch perspective.
We have a couple questions here about the cost of the system, and since this is more of a general webinar for a general audience, we did not we're not going to release that kind of information now. It depends on a lot of factors, such as amount of drivers and other requirements that you may need on an individual basis. So if you are interested in learning more about how much it would cost for such a service, we would suggest getting one-on-one with Larry or one of the other salespeople here, and we could talk about that as well. Question here about routes. How many stops can you put on a route?
Well, we look at it as obviously once you add more than one stop to a route, it becomes a route. You can track two or more stops to a particular route. That is what we consider a route.
Another question here, and this is we're starting to wrap up on the questions, so if you have any more, please type it here in the question section. You guys showed a little bit of the platform earlier, the RACO Interactive platform. Does RACO provide any training on the platform?
That's a really great question. The answer is absolutely yes. Because we are charging you a monthly service fee for the service, we also provide unlimited tech support. We have a website available that you can type in any particular questions. They're addressed by numerous people on our team. And obviously unlimited training can be scheduled through myself or through the project manager. And we'll train one or as many as your people you need trained on the platform so they can go out and do the job efficiently.
One more question here. Other than the Garmin, what other hardware, if any, is required?
Great question. As we discussed, when you buy the Garmin technology, we actually attach one of our GPS tracking devices into the Garmin configuration, and that provides the feedback back to our GPS tracking platform. That provides you not only the Garmin capacity, but all the GPS tracking functionality, geofences, landmarks, breadcrumb trail, real-time tracking, real-time routing. And again, we have a very, very robust report generator, which gives you all kinds of great reports from a pre- and post-inspection to possibly hours of service to time and materials to time and attendance. So many things we can add on to the platform that we can help clients work with.
And it looks like this might be our last question, if nobody else has any others. Can I manage or dispatch from my tablet? We saw you guys work from a desktop earlier. What about tablets?
On the tablet, I mean, it is a web-based solution, so any internet-facing device should be able to log into the fully functioning platform and dispatch from a tablet.
All right. Well, Larry and Doug, thank you guys very much, and thank you to all of you who attended the presentation. Before we go, I'd like to announce the winner of the Garmin device. Congrats to James from A&A Safety. We'll contact you shortly to determine how we can get you your prize. Again, thank you everyone for participating in today's event. If you'd like more information on GPS tracking, the Garmin dispatch feature, as well as just more questions, we talked about cost for the system, please contact a product specialist here, 1-800-446-1991. You see Larry and Doug's information there on the screen as well. Again, thank you all very much for attending. Have a great day.